What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Career Mode. This is episode number 5, and we start today's episode off by seeing that we signed two more players, Sam Byram and Michael Keane of Leeds and Burnley. We get Byram for £800,000 plus Paredes, a right back who we weren't using, and also we signed Michael Keane for a straight bid of £2 million. We get in these two players, and once again, these are squad players, really, players that will be in the reserves. They might play some cup games and midweek games, but not too many games in the season. And we also offer Lewis Cook a new contract as he declined his first one. But with Byram and Keane coming in, really it's just meeting the criteria. I've discussed it in the first 4 episodes, I'll discuss it again. These players right here have good potential for the future. They're lowering the wage structure here at Watford as well. Really, these are the ideal signings for me to make now, because I like the first 11, I like the squad I'm assembling right now, but I just want to bring in some young English talent as well. That's something I always do in my career modes, always try and bring in some young talent from the country, the same country as the club, and that's exactly what we're doing here. Sam Byram and Michael Keane, both very decent young players in their early 20s. They'll come into the squad. They may not play too many games in the first season. I may even put them on the loan list. I'm not too sure yet. But either way, they'll play a couple of games here and there, and they're good players for the future and good squad depth as well. Also, Rennie Gilmartin, our 28-year-old 57 overall goalkeeper, is on his way to Morecambe for £60,000. Totally fine with me. He was never going to get used in this squad. We've already got Butland coming in, Gomez, and there's a Lithuanian goalkeeper who's here as well. He's not going to get any game time. We'll sell him, get him out of the club, and that's totally fine with me. And we take on Manchester City for the first game of today's episode here, the first and only game of today's episode away at the Etihad Stadium. Obviously a pretty decent start for us here with Watford, yet to lose a single game so far this season, and of course did win on the opening day against Everton too. However, we did know that coming into this game we would be massive underdogs against one of the better sides in the country, but the first chance would fall to us in the 8th minute here as we had ourselves a free kick. Bertrand Traore standing over it, so is Ibarbo. We decided to wait a very long time for this, one of my first free kicks of the series. Wanted it to be spectacular, but sadly it was anything but spectacular. Trundled harmlessly wide of the post and behind for a goal kick. Very, very poor indeed, and it was goalless at half-time. Trundled? Trickled sounds better. But it's still 0-0 in this game. But 2 minutes after the restart here, City had their proper first chance of the game. It was a very poor first half here. After Jack Butland punches this cross away, Fabian Delph goes for goal from just outside the area, but it's a really, really harmless shot by the former Villa man, and it is still goalless. In the 59th minute, another good chance for City here. Kevin De Bruyne's on the ball and finds Yaya Toure. Toure goes for goal from just outside the area, but he goes wide of the post and behind for a goal kick. So still 0-0 in this game, and to be honest, there really weren't that many chances. City were dominating possession but not doing much with it. But in the 71st minute, Bertrand Traore completely skins Gael Clichy and goes down the right hand side. Sterling catches up, but he also beats Sterling as well. Wonderful run from the former Chelsea man, but I completely messed up the finish. Went for goal way too early, and it does go harmlessly wide of the post. That was one of our best chances of the game, and I completely messed it up. So still 0-0. In the 76th minute here, we conceded a free kick off Ruben Loftus-Cheek. I didn't think this was a free kick personally. I thought Loftus-Cheek won the ball there, but the referee gave the free kick to Manchester City. Yaya Toure was standing over it. The vanishing spray comes out from the referee. New feature. I didn't actually notice this in the first few games, but new feature this year, the vanishing spray. Looks pretty cool, doesn't it? But either way, the vanishing spray comes out. Yaya Toure standing over it. He's such an inconsistent player, Yaya Toure. Some days you get him on the pitch and you don't know what Yaya Toure you're going to get. He can be unplayable on his day, but some days he's anonymous. But in this game, sadly, we got the Yaya Toure that's capable of scoring wonderful free kicks. That's exactly what happens here. A brilliant strike by the Ivorian, curls it over the wall, in off the underside of the bar. Literally no complaints over Jack Butland's positioning or dive there. He's never getting to that. What a strike by Yaya Toure, and sadly it settles the game as well, because with 12 minutes to go, we couldn't get any more chances on the board, and City win the game by a goal to nil. So disappointed to lose for the first time this season. We were expected to lose in this game, don't get me wrong, but we were 12 minutes away from a very credible goalless draw away at the Etihad, but you just can't stop those kind of free kicks from Toure. Butland certainly can't, and sadly City win the game by a goal to nil. So it's true, there are some days where Toure just doesn't perform to the ability that he does have, and he clearly does have that ability, but there are some days where Yaya Toure is genuinely unplayable. I've noticed that's the same in the game as well in real life as well, but either way, when he is on his day, he can be unplayable, and he certainly was there. So he was man of the match. He did get the game winner as well. Also following that, we signed a new player, our third signing of the episode. Lewis Cook comes in from Leeds for £1.25 million. Glad to get him in. Of course, we sold Ben Watson. Cook comes in as his replacement. 18 years old, 69 overall. We got him for less than his current valuation right now. 69 overall holding midfielder here with the potential to get very good in the future. So very happy with that signing right there. And once again, it's meeting the criteria. We're bringing in those younger players. We're transitioning this Watford side into a younger one, a fresher one, and that looks pretty good for me. Still following out, it was time for transfer deadline day. So deadline day arrives here in career mode. Didn't really have too many plans, although we did sell Rennie Gilmartin to Morecambe for £70,000, so totally fine with me. And also, we put in a bid for Matt Targett here of Southampton. Now, the left-back area with Watford is okay. Nathan Ake is a permanent player on the game. Good one for the future. And Holebas is one of our highest-rated players in 76, even though I haven't played too many games so far. But I wouldn't mind getting a good option in the reserves. Again, someone who's young, someone who's English, someone with potential. Targett meets that criteria. We offer £700,000 plus Alfie Young, and we'll wait and see what Southampton say. Also, Andreas Pereira of Manchester United, who scored a lovely free kick in the Capital One Cup in the week against Ipswich. I thought we might try and get this guy on loan for a season, basically just to see what he's like. Arrange no future fee with Manchester United, and don't worry about signing him permanently. He's there just for cover, really, just to take a look at him, see how he does in the end of the year. If he grows a few ratings, maybe we'll consider a permanent deal next season, but Pereira, mainly just in for cover, squad depth, really. We get him into the club on a season-long loan, and that's totally fine with me. And if we ever get any free kicks against Ipswich, he'll be the man that takes them. But still, also putting a new bid for Matt Targett of Southampton, £900,000 after they rejected the first bid of I think it was £800,000 plus Alfie Young. And also here's a look at Andreas Pereira's stats as well. 66 overall, looks pretty decent. I was expecting 4-star skill moves, but never mind, still looks pretty good regardless. And also Southampton rejected a bid for Matt Targett. They said they wanted £1.6 million, which I'm not against paying, but to be honest, because we don't actually need him, and because Ake's a permanent player here at Watford, I thought we'll just get him on loan, and that's exactly what happened. So he's going to come in on a season-long loan, just like Andreas Pereira. No future fee arranged. He's here just for cover, for squad depth really, and for us to take a better look at him and see if we might like him in the future. So Targett becomes our 5th signing of the episode, our 2nd on loan on this deadline day, and not a single player of these 5 players is 23 years or older. So I don't know whether the council might come around and ask me whether I've got a license for this daycare centre I'll be running, but I'm sure some eyebrows will be raised knowing that not a single player is over 23. But at the end of the day, you know, the point with Watford, as I said a couple of times in the episode, I'll say again, is that we want to transition this side. We want it to get younger, and that's exactly what we're doing right now. So I'm happy with those signings right there. And, you know, we had a few £1,000,000 left over in the budget. You just saw it there. We could have spent on some more players. We could have brought in some more players. But to be honest, we've already spent £24.5 million in this summer transfer window. We've gained £8.4 million for the sales of some of our players. And, you know, I'm happy with this squad. I know that we can make improvements. I know we could get a better squad. I know we get some better players in. But I'm happy with the squad we've got right now. It's a pretty good dynamic. And, you know, everything's fine for me. So I don't really mind keeping the money and trying to reinvest in January instead. Still following that, we did see that Lewis Cook has torn his hamstring and is going to be out for 6 weeks. So absolutely ridiculous. Hasn't had a single game, you know, to be played in yet, Lewis Cook. He came in after the City game. Hasn't been able to get into any match day squad whatsoever. I'd imagine the first thing he did was get on the training pitch, play a pass to Damari Gray, and ends up tearing his hamstring. Just typical my luck, really. He'll be out for 6 weeks. It's not really a big deal, obviously, because Lewis Cook is a squad player. Like I said, he's coming for that role. He won't play too many minutes anyway. He might play a midweek game or a cup game here or there, but to be honest, in January, I'll probably look to loan him out for the rest of the season. But either way, it's still frustrating to know the first thing he does after signing, literally 1 day later, he tears his hamstring. Absolutely ridiculous. But still, following that, we have a squad report here after we've ended deadline day. I showed you the complete list of negotiations. Unbelievable how many players have come in and got sold as well. I think I signed 10 players, including loan players, which is crazy. But still, look at the squad report here. And like I said, you know, I like this squad. I really do. I think it's a good squad. We made the squad younger. We've got some deadwood out of the club as well. I'm liking what we got. We got a few too many players on loan. That's one thing we'll have to assess next season. But either way, for the time being, that's a long way away next season. For the time being, you know, it's a pretty good squad. I like what we've got. And, you know, with the aims this season, the board wants to finish in mid-table. I definitely think we can do that with this squad. And after the first 4 games, we are sitting in 11th place. 1 win, 2 defeats, and 1 win, 2 draws, and 1 defeat, with 5 points and 0 for the goal difference. So, you know, it's obviously been a pretty decent start when you consider the fact we're a newly promoted side. We are sitting in 11th place, and that's probably exactly what I was predicting from the start anyway, you know, to try and get 1 win on the board early on. Did that against Everton on the opening day of the season, and also get a couple of decent draws against Southampton and West Brom as well, and I thought we were going to lose to City, and we did. So it's been as expected, really, but still a pretty decent start for Watford, and now we've got the young talent we wanted as well signed into the club too. But that does end the episode, guys, so thank you very much for watching the video. Really hope you have enjoyed it. If you have enjoyed today's episode of Career Mode, then please do leave a like. It's much appreciated, and it really does help my channel out, and I'll see you for the next episode of Career Mode very soon. Varane is that player for Manchester United. Good enough for the first team to go straight into your first 11 and also be good enough to get to a really high overall in the future. So for £22 million for an 82 overall centre-back of just 22 years old, Varane would be my number one target. That's the first signing I would recommend making if you are doing a Manchester United career mode